Beyond the Hollywood holster. When you picture a cowboy, you probably see a revolver slung low on his hip, shiny, spinning, and ready for a duel. But that image is pure Hollywood. Real cowboys weren't walking arsenals or gun-slinging showmen. They were ranch hands, trail drivers, and sometimes reluctant fighters who carried their weapons for survival, not spectacle. Their holsters weren't polished leather works of art. They were handmade, worn, patched, and shaped by necessity. Every crease told a story of long rides, sleepless nights, and hands calloused from rope and rain. Today, on the real frontier, we're leaving the movie set behind to uncover the true ways cowboys carried their guns. From saddle scabbards and belt rigs to hidden derringers and pocket pistols. Let's ride. Number 10, the trail holster. Simple and high. Forget the low-slung, hip-tied rigs of Western films. Most working cowboys wore their revolvers high on the belt, snug against the waist. It kept the weapon out of the way while riding and reduced the risk of snagging on brush or saddle gear. These trail holsters were often plain, sometimes just a piece of leather stitched by hand. The hammer loop held the revolver secure during hard gallops, and quick draws weren't the point. Control was. Real cowboys didn't duel. They drew their gun when rattlesnakes or rustlers made it necessary, not when the saloon clock struck noon. Number 9, the crossdraw carry, for riders and stage men. If you've ever ridden long hours in a saddle, you'd know reaching across your body is easier than pulling straight down. That's why many cowboys and stage drivers wore their revolvers butt forward on the opposite hip, known as the crossdraw style. It allowed a quick, comfortable pull from a seated position and avoided the gun digging into their thigh. The crossdraw wasn't about theatrics, it was about endurance. Men who worked the trails, carried mail, or drove coaches preferred this method because it kept their dominant hand free for reins, ropes, or rifles. Number 8, the shoulder holster, concealed comfort. Popular among gamblers, town marshals, and traveling men, the shoulder holster kept a small revolver tucked discreetly under a coat. It was less common on open ranges, but invaluable for anyone who needed to move quietly armed. It kept the gun warm, dry, and hidden, essential in crowded saloons or unpredictable towns. Contrary to myth, not every man wore his weapon on display. The true professionals valued discretion over drama. Number 7, the pocket pistol, the get-out-alive gun. Not every cowboy carried a heavy revolver. Small caliber pocket pistols, 32s, 38s, or derringers were the last line of defense. They fit into a vest pocket or a small pouch, ideal for gamblers, storekeepers, and trail cooks who didn't want to wear a visible sidearm. These guns were close-range tools, often used once, quickly and desperately. A derringer didn't win gunfights. It bought time to escape one. Number 6, the rifle scabbard, the cowboy's real weapon. If you asked a real cowboy what his real gun was, he'd point to his rifle, not his revolver. Carried in a leather scabbard tied to the saddle, the Winchester or Spencer repeating rifle was the true frontier lifeline. It wasn't about fast draws, but long-range defense for coyotes, rustlers, or the occasional outlaw ambush. The scabbard kept the rifle ready, but secure, angled downward so the muzzle stayed clear of rain and dust. Every ranch hand who rode the range knew one rule: you might forget your hat, but never your rifle. Number 5, the double carry, gun on each hip. Rare, but real. Despite what movies show, very few cowboys carried 2 revolvers. Ammo was expensive, and extra guns were heavy. But a few, particularly lawmen or gunmen traveling dangerous routes, did wear dual rigs. Usually one gun was worn high for comfort, the other low for speed. This wasn't about style, it was strategy. A second gun meant backup in case one jammed, or when you had to reload under pressure. It was rare, but real, and far less glamorous than Hollywood made it look. Number 4. The Mexican loop rig, rugged and reliable. The most iconic of all holsters, the Mexican loop appeared in the late 1800s, a leather loop stitched through the main body to secure the holster to the belt. It was durable, cheap, and widespread among cowhands and lawmen alike. Unlike the early Slim Jim designs, the Mexican loop kept the gun stable during hard riding. It could handle dust, rain, and time, everything the frontier threw at it. This is the design that most of Hollywood copied, though the real ones were far simpler, stained with sweat and trail dust instead of silver trim. Number 3. The cavalry holster, a soldier's legacy. Many cowboys after the Civil War used leftover cavalry-style holsters, long, flap-covered designs meant for black powder revolvers like the Colt 1860 Army. They were slow to draw, but protected the gun from dirt and weather. These were the rigs of ex-soldiers turned ranch hands, bringing military discipline to the frontier. They might have been outdated, but in the wild country, old habits and old leather died hard. Number 2. The money belt rig, gun and gold together. Not every belt held just bullets. Many cowboys used money belts, wide leather belts with hidden pockets sewn into the lining. They carried both cartridges and cash, keeping everything safe in one place. When paired with a holster, the money belt became the practical man's rig, comfortable, secure, and efficient. It was the frontier version of carrying your life around your waist. Number 1. The no holster carry, the forgotten reality. The truth is, not every cowboy had a holster. Some simply tucked their revolver into their waistband, saddlebag, or boot. A holster was a luxury, a few dollars that many couldn't spare. For trail hands paid $25 a month, the gun itself was often borrowed or second-hand. They carried it however they could, wrapped in cloth, wedged behind a belt, or left behind altogether when work didn't require it. This was the real West, practical, improvisational, and far less glamorous than we imagine. Cowboys weren't gunslingers. They were survivors. They carried what they needed, how they could, and rarely the way movies tell it. Every worn holster, every patched belt, and every hidden pistol spoke of long miles and longer days. There was no single way to carry a gun, only the way that worked when the dust rose and the sun wouldn't quit. Because in the real frontier, style didn't matter. Only survival did.